What's up, my sad boys and girls? I think girls listen to this podcast. I mean, I don't know if suits are interesting, but if you are, welcome. But anyway, this is a cool sneak peek or a little snippet of our bonus episode, which is released exclusively for our patrons. So if you're a patron, you're listening to the wrong link. You're gonna have to go check the Patreon webpage or the Discord, the cool secret Discord that's full of great conversations and live watches and stuff. But that's where you'll find the actual episode. But this is for those of you who are not patrons, so you get to have a sneak peek at our bonus episode, which this time covers the style of Back to the Future. It's one of our favorite movies, one of my favorite movies. Great score, even though there's only one theme in it. There's no individual themes, but whatever. Alan Silvestri, you can do whatever you want, I guess. Yeah, it's a fun movie, fun discussion. There is a blog post which I have included in the show notes, so you guys can read that. But if you guys prefer listening to Spencer and I talk about this candidly, be sure to subscribe, I guess, to our Patreon, and you'll see more of these episodes as well. Moving forward in Discord, there's gonna be bonus episodes, every month. They're not always gonna be movie ones. Sometimes they're gonna be fun discussions, some random topics, or AMA episodes, but this time it's gonna be Back to the Future. So enjoy a little snippet of that episode. We'll catch you next time.
Okay, so in this movie it feels less like, whoa, look how, like, the characters in the 50s don't know that it's, like, old-timey, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of, like, period pieces that come out, and you could tell it's, like, the movie's doing, like, oh, look how old-timey these people are.
Yeah, like, which we have to watch still.
But, I mean, again,
Brooklyn.
this movie does exactly that, but at the same... It doesn't feel as overt.
Yeah, it's like... it's done more so in, like, values dissonance.
Or, like, just pop culture references. Like, he's like, let me get a tab, and they're like, a tab?
Like, yeah, I gotta... yeah.
Or, like, reruns or whatever.
Yeah, what's a rerun? You'll find out, kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's brand new. But, yeah, no one talks like they're in the 50s over here.
Except Biff a little bit.
Biff, yeah, but Biff's kind of like, you kind of get that because he's stupid.
But I mean, I've talked about like this is like, I'm sure another established person has said exactly this, but this is like the first wave of 50s nostalgia where it's people who grew up in the 50s reminiscing about their childhood rather than the 50s nostalgia that came out. I don't know, when was there another 50s
like
nostalgia?
Like the 90s, maybe?
Like the mid to late 90s, where it was not people that grew up in the 50s,
Mm-hmm.
it was people... Like, it was people who are entirely detached from the 50s.
It's kind of like, I liken it to now where we have...
Like the 90s or early 2000s trend worn by kids who were born in, like, 2005. Whatever.
Yeah, who didn't really experience it as much. But yeah, so, like, when you look at the costuming, it's a lot of just, like, lots of sports shirts, lots of 50s sports shirts.
Yeah.
Like, they're not super wide collars, or maybe there are because, again, maybe some kids had hand-me-downs or whatever. Mm-hmm. Lots of slacks. There's a quick shot, I think, if you scroll all the way down to the blog post where it's I cover the regular people wearing it. Like, you see, like, guys wearing sports shirts with jeans cuffed with white socks and saddle shoes, which I think is a really cool look. Again, not very much suspenders or anything like that. They're wearing, like, sweaters with the collars peeking out, some people are wearing sport coats. But, yeah, Marty in particular, so... When he has to put on regular 50s clothes, he wears a dope outfit. He has like a two-tone, like leather gab jacket. Because I think it's a repro because technically I think it would have been made of like...
Yeah, because that leather looks like really new too.
Yeah, it looks really new. But it would be like a wool leather probably if it was like more 40s or 50s. But it still looks cool. It's a cool two-tone. Excuse me. Take a shot. Yeah. He wears that with like a...
Like rayon slacks or something.
Yeah, like a rayon. Like you can see it like in the movie or in the pictures. Like it's got like a really weird like scratchy texture to them. And rayon, like nubby silk slacks were a thing. I owned a pair, which I...
No, like very popular. Very popular.
I don't know where I put them. Who did I sell them to? I gave them to Andy.
Oh, that's right.
I sold them to him. Yeah. Those are really good. They're just really high waisted. I cannot wear them. But yeah, he wears them with like white socks and painted loafers. It's a very cool look because nowadays lots of guys are wearing, like if you look at like classic menswear, they're wearing like rayon or like Aloha shirts. But this one is different because the 50s had more of like they loved abstract patterns. They love vertical designs.
It's like stuff that was like kind of like futuristic.
Yeah.
This is when like synthetic fabrics first started taking off. This is when you really saw like the first It's not like rayon, which is like made from like, wood pulp or whatever. This is the first like 100% synthetic fabrics that you started seeing.
Yeah, and so it's reflected in like the patterns and everything too. They have like a very future like atomic stuff, tiki stuff. That was a big thing. So it's different. Like the 50s shirts have a different character than say like sport shirts in like the 30s or the 40s.
Yeah.
And that's something I really like. I think they look really great. I'd say this, the whole blog post kind of has this kind of tone where I'm talking about how accessible it makes the 50s look, which it does. But I think a lot of guys today, like, or repro or rockabilly guys, when they wear it, they kind of just wear the shirt and the pants, which looks kind of too rockabilly, kind of too swing dancey. But I think that Marty's outfits look pretty good.
And I mean, yeah, and with Marty and Doc, because, Marty's like kind of... I mean, he looks very 50s, but he dresses slightly different than a lot of the other characters because obviously he's not from the 50s.
Yeah.
He has different like kind of fashion sensibilities than everyone else. So you get some interesting stuff from him, but then you get some really interesting stuff from Doc because he's just an eccentric.
Yeah.
So you get like that like zip shirt, like the black and pink thing.
Yes, when
yeah, I don't know if we want to go in any chronology like by character. I just want to talk about outfits that we like.
Well, yeah, like Spencer's talking about the asymmetrical zip.
Well, he has that, but then no, I'm talking about the one that he wears like in the last scene, like with the pink, like the kind of pink and black with
pink and black squiggles with the
pink and black is a very 1950s.
It is a lot. You see that with like like pink shirts and black ties or black slacks or whatever. It's a very cool thing. But yeah, well, I guess if we go back, so Marty, that's what Marty wears in that scene when he's scoping out his dad at the school, and when he comes back the next day, he wears.
That's when he's wearing his like kind of bandana print shirt or whatever, right?
Yeah, he has like it's like a. I remember reading on the wiki they call it like a chain link. Like pattern, but then it's also got giant squares on it as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, so he's wearing that with just jeans and that same red jacket.
Yeah, same red jacket and then so that scene you get to see he's wearing black Converse because you see this is with the skateboard chase.
Oh, but they're not true vintage because it doesn't look like they got the black thing on the black like logo tag on the back.
Oh.
Wait, well they might be. I don't know. I can't. Maybe they're ripped off.
I'm not a sneakerhead or a whatever, so. No. I don't know too much about that. But yeah, he wears that. And then when he does the... there's one scene also where he's talking to George about... talking to Mom about how he's going to, like, pretend to rape his mom, which is crazy. But he wears, like, a Gap shirt, which has cool two-tone detailing, like the pockets and the collar.
Yeah, that's like... That definitely looks like something that's true vintage.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine, like, a costume designer just, like, making that.
Yeah. Because, like, when you look at stuff like Gangster Squad... Those shirts are all made for it, and because they're plain.
They're all either plain or very simple patterns, or like maybe you'll have like an Aloha shirt.
Yeah.
But there's nothing quite as abstract in a lot of 50s period pieces that you actually saw back then.
Yeah. Again, this is why it's cool if you find them. I still love trying to find them. I haven't bought a lot of sports shirts recently, just because I have a lot, and also when you find the really good ones. They are expensive because again, no one really makes them other than like Groove and High. But Groove and High, I think, does like very limited patterns.
Yeah,
and of course,
it's hard to get in the States, and also it's expensive.
Yep. So that's what's really cool about this movie where you get to see all these fun stuff because it's not just Marty, but you see it on other people too. And then so for the final part where he is playing at the dance, he wears kind of a fun 50s. Separates outfit. So like up top he's got like a weird, it's not a houndstooth exactly, but it's like a weird like just a
could you call it a basket weave maybe?
Yeah, just kind of a weird basket weave black and brown sport coat. It's got kind of like
lazy
peak lapels. He wears it with a white point. Oh yeah, by the way, when people wear dress shirts in this area, they're wearing point collars and not spear points. That is kind
point collar or like semi-spread.
Yeah, that is like, kind of what was in like the 1950s.